All right, guys, welcome back. CFP here, and this is Survival Living. So, real quick information, guys. A lot of stuff's going on with Russia right now, especially with the threat of invasion of Ukraine. Now, last year we saw this, that they came running up on Ukraine with all their troops. Everyone, including myself, we thought it's fixing to pop off. And now they're doing it again. Of course, last year, they said it was drilling. I think it just got too much exposure and they just weren't ready and prepared for what they needed to do. I believe we got something going on and it will happen this year. But then again, that's my thoughts. All right, so we've got, Russia has deployed, I believe it was 140 ships, warships. All right, they've already got over 100,000 troops on the Ukraine border. I know that they also went into Belarus. So I think the actual number is like 180,000 troops. I don't know, guys. I'm telling you right now, I think something's up. The fact is that the U.S. broke the story on the false flag, that they were planning a false event to roll into Ukraine, not UK. The UK said that Russia was planning on putting a Russian sympathizer there in their politics, position of power there in UK, and of course, Ukraine, and of course, Russia pops back off. Oh, this is untrue. Of course, if you're going to do something, of course you're going to deny it. So there could be a lot of propaganda, as in trying to start. I'm going to look at both sides here, guys. One, I think Russia is going to try, but let's look at it. Let's play a devil's advocate here. What if we are trying to start something, blame Russia, just to pop off everything? It's a possibility. All right, all government's corrupt. All government do their own agenda. They're not looking out for the people one bit. They get in the position of power, and now they think that they own citizens. They think that we are their servants, when it was actually supposed to be, you do as we want you to do. That's why we put you in a position of power. That's what it's actually supposed to be set up. But that's not how the system works. Not anymore. It just don't. So, do I think something's going to happen? Yes, I do. I really do. Sure, you can look at mainstream media and all that stuff, and I do. I check it out because I want to see what they are pushing, what they are talking about. It doesn't mean I take it as concrete evidence. It gives me something to look at and go look around and see what's really going on, or what they're trying to misdirect from. The fact is, though, I do believe we're fixing to go to war. All right, so when Russia and Ukraine goes to war, I think China is going to try to invade Taiwan. Russia already made threats about U.S. interfering with Ukraine, and I believe the UK just delivered some lethal weaponry there in Ukraine. I believe the U.S. has also done the same. So, with that in mind, guys, something's going to pop off. And when it does, I hope you're prepared. My thoughts, my preparedness thoughts on this and what we are preparing for. I believe the United States will get hit with EMP weaponry. I don't think they might use some strategic nukes to take out some major player parts in our country, but I think as a whole they're going to hit us with EMP weaponry. They've got the hypersonic systems, they've got the glider systems that can shoot a hypersonic missile while this thing is actually hypersonic. So it just depends on what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. As of right now, as far as reports go in U.S. military testing, we do not have hypersonic technology yet. All 3 attempts that we've done, we have failed. But then again, would the U.S. government tell the American citizens and the world what they actually have in their arsenal? No, of course not. All right, we had stuff back when I was in the Air Force that nobody knew about. So, we might actually have the technology too, and we just don't want anybody to know about it. So, makes you think about a lot of things, but I believe that they're going to hit us with an EMP weaponry, knock out our grid, take us out of the fight before the fight starts. Because they want Taiwan. They want Ukraine. You take out the big dog on the block, United States, knock out their power, make it so they cannot deploy, makes it much easier, don't it? Then again, hey man, I could be completely wrong. I'll tell you what though, prices on everything's going up, food shortages, everything that's just shady going on in the country and around the world. There's stuff in place. Look at our shutdowns. Over a, oh no, I feel bad. But they lock everything down and treat you like a criminal for not allowing them to shove something down you, not listening to you, impose basically martial law, even though it wasn't declared martial law, but they are locking you down in your home. You got no say. I just recently saw a cruise ship. People were stranded 10 days on a cruise ship because someone popped off with a feeling. So they automatically quarantine these people in the middle of the ocean. Really? No say. It's just, you're quarantined, you're stuck out there. You cannot land, you cannot go to shore. You are stuck here because the government says so. This is all planned. That way when they want to lock you down and make you do what they want you to do, they will. They're conditioning everybody. They're getting people ready, their system's ready to roll in and lock people down whenever they want to. Whatever they say goes. Now, we could get on the bandwagon of what needs to happen. The fact is, I'm not here to get into that. I'm just here to get you prepared. You make your own decisions on that. I'm going to tell you right now, if an uprising happens, you will need supplies. You will need logistics to keep your front moving. Think it through, guys. Don't just react just because you feel like you need to do something. Plan it out, and I mean really plan it out. All right? So, anyway, moving forward, get food put back. All right, antibiotics is going to be something you need to stock up on. Now, antibiotics is not a complete lifesaver as far as the end-all be-all, but antibiotics have saved countless lives, millions of lives with antibiotics. Most of our antibiotics come from China. In case you didn't know that, most of the ingredients for our antibiotics come from China. Yeah, so when China steps in, you think they're going to be shipping medical supplies and things like that to the United States? Not if we're their enemy. They're not. Well, I mean, why would you? I mean, would you? I sure wouldn't. So I really believe we're going to be hit with an EMP scenario. Now, with an EMP, guys, it's going to affect everything. It's not just your lights. It's everything. Everything will stop. Food production, as far as large farms, things like that. I mean, even if they did have a way of producing food at farms, they have no way of transporting it to the masses. Our system for supply and demand and delivery is like a spider web. One of these little links go out, though, the whole thing falls apart. You take out the power grid or a way to produce power, that affects it all. All right, and then you have water delivery, septic, waste treatment. There's such a cascading effect of everything. Now, you can have power in your own home to make your life much easier. Yes, heating oil, things like that, because you will need that in the wintertime. You also need a way of cooling down your home, like down here in Florida. It gets cold. I mean, it's been down in the 30s at night. All right, that's freaking cold. For here, it's cold. I know there's colder climates. I know. I've lived there. I've trained there. I get that. But if you're living down here in Florida, where your temperature's an average of 96 degrees all the freaking time up to 100, and then all of a sudden you drop down to 32, you're freezing your ass off. Your body doesn't have time to acclimate. All right, so hypothermia will set in when your core temperature drops down to 95. All right, it doesn't take much to freeze to death. Okay, so having power supply put back, very important. Having food, having a way to grow food. All right, now we talk about stockpiling food. We also talk about growing food. You need to have enough food to last you multiple growing seasons, okay? It takes time to grow something in a garden. All right, it does. And what happens if something screwed up happens in your garden? Pests, pollution, massive rainstorm that just comes out of nowhere and lasts for weeks, just destroys your crops. Well, if you don't have food put back, you're going to have a hard time making it. I'm not going to say you're not going to make it. I'm going to say you're going to have a hard time making it. You are. You need to have food put back to last you between growing seasons. You need to grow to seed on a lot of products, a lot of these produce that come out, because you're going to have to be growing your own food. You're going to need to. You're going to have a way of preserving your food, canning. You know, you got to do this. There's going to be a lot of things that you need to start learning really, really quick. And I do recommend start learning it really, really quick. But you don't have to listen to me. There's plenty of other preppers out here on YouTube that have shown how to can food, how to grow food. You know, we hit those basics and stuff, and we just don't harp on it. I want people to start stockpiling food as much as possible, have ways of purifying water, have ways of storing water. Your tap's not going to run. If you got a well, that's awesome. You need to find a way to power up that well in case of an EMP attack. Because even though you got a well, if you can't get power to pump it up, you're not going to have water. Now, some of these shallow wells, you can install a hand pump. But most wells are deep, 130, 280 feet deep. You're not going to get that up with a hand well, with a hand pump. That's not coming up. That's why you have those large well heads. So you have to have a way of powering this stuff up. Now, if you got a shallow well with a hand pump, that's awesome. But shallow wells dry up in seasons a lot. If we have a really dry season, your shallow well can dry up. And that does happen. So anyway, guys, please stock up stuff. Defense. You need defense. Because if you're the only person in your area with food, supplies, people are going to notice. Absolutely, they will. You need to have a way of protecting your food. You need to have a way of protecting your property. You need to have a way of protecting your family. Now, protecting your family is everything from providing food, shelter, clothing, and of course, protection. You need to work on this. We don't go much on bang bangs on this channel because of my history, so that's why we don't. Now, I can definitely tell people with certainty you need to start working on building a group, especially if you're elderly, if you are disabled, you're alone, and you're facing these conditions. Start building a group. Have plans where people come together. It's easier to come together, work together, people that you can trust, than facing it by yourself. But then again, I catch so much slack and argumentation on this. You do whatever it is that you want to do. I'm just here to tell you the best plans that we implement and we practice. So anyway, guys, please get ready. There's a lot of stuff going on. I really think we're going to see something this year. We're overdue. We are overdue. Keep on stocking. Keep prepping.